Take the next left onto Helen Avenue, then turn left onto Harlington Road West.
Those are wrong. You can do them, but that is the sort of sense of adherence that I'm getting. Most people, though, want to do the right thing. Otherwise, they'll be driven by kind of social disapproval of anybody not doing their required quarantine.
Well, we're going to hear from listeners throughout the hour. Obviously, Simon, whenever you appear, and we didn't book you to answer people's questions, and you are going in a moment, I know. But look, we've got Chris in Cardiff who's texted. I'm currently driving through France from...
Continue on A312 for half a mile.
Do I still need to quarantine?
If you are getting onto Eurotunnel, you will not. If you are getting onto a ferry, unbelievably, you do. I will get the rules up, but I've double-checked it with the Department for Transport, who do make the rules up, and they say because technically there will be maybe 10 minutes when you get out of the car.
Head northwest on Harlington Road West, A312 towards Lansbury Avenue. Continue on A312 for half a mile.
The ferry companies are furious about that interpretation. Eurotunnel, absolutely delighted. Probably if you need to get a Eurotunnel ticket, I don't know, it will cost you about £200, but there is now plenty of availability because, of course, we've had a kind of peacetime evacuation of people wanting to beat the deadline.
Simon, thank you as always. Simon Calder, the travel editor of The Independent, speaking to us live from Preston. So this hour is all about you if you are self-isolating because you've been away. I just wonder how you're coping with it. You went through lockdown with everybody else, and now precisely because you chose to travel abroad, you are locked up at home in a situation much tougher than even lockdown was. How are you getting on? Are you regretting going on holiday? Maybe you had almost no notice of this change as people from in France and Netherlands and previously Spain had. 0345 6060 973. How are you spending your time? Are you thumbing through the pictures you took on holiday and thinking, well, that was worth it. 2 weeks locked in the house, that's worth it. Are you bitterly regretting going abroad? Or is it a price worth paying? 0345 6060 973. We'll talk about that throughout the next hour. Let me know how it is for you. So 6:15 now. Here's Tim Humphrey. Universities are working...
In 300 yards, slide right onto Causeway, A312.
Local coronavirus lockdown measures have been partially lifted in Leicester because of a fall in infection rates. Marks and Spencer says changes in trading patterns due to coronavirus. Decision to lose 7,000 jobs from its stores.
Take the next right onto Causeway, A312.
England, Scotland and Northern Ireland tonight. Strong winds and rain.
Head north on Fags Road, A312, then slide right onto Causeway. Continue on A312 for 1 mile.
The new Commissioner of Transport for London. We're getting London moving again, with good service levels on tubes, buses and trains. But we do ask that you please travel outside the busier times, if you can, to help with social distancing. We're doing all we can to keep things safe, clean and organised. After all, we're here for all Londoners. To find out more, search TfL Restart Plan. To the Mayor of London and TfL, every journey matters.
Listen, that's a dream. Everyone has them, jingling away in the back of our minds. And most of the time, that's where dreams stay. So easy to ignore. Anything can drown them out, and everything does. But at Honda, we listen to our dreams. We get right up close. And on really good days, they become reality. From 2022, Honda's mainstream cars will only be hybrid or electric. Honda, the power of dreams.
Hey Kate, where's the Titanic? I know, we were so looking forward to our trip before it got cancelled due to COVID. But at least we booked with Trailfinders. It was so much easier than stumbling around websites, and they offered me an immediate cash refund. Did you take it? No, we rebooked for day to day, taking a bargain with little risk. We'll have a Titan soon then. That's the plan.
Trailfinders, the travel experts you can trust. Let's go find your next holiday. Find or visit your local Trailfinders travel centre as shops open up again. How do we all stay safe? Fontaine runs
In a quarter of a mile at Wagoners Roundabout, take the second exit onto the Parkway A312.
Stay alert. Control the virus. Save lives.
Daddy, shouldn't you call a plumber?
Unfortunately, Pension B can't make you DIY confident, but we can transfer most old pensions together into one simple online plan that's jargon-free with no hidden fees, so you know you're on track.
Daddy, this is just like being at the seaside.
Be pension confident. Download the app or visit pensionb.com to sign up.
Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Capital at risk.
Exit the roundabout onto the Parkway. Continue on the Parkway for 1 mile.
This is LBC with Eddie Mayer. Call 0345 6060 973.
More and more people coming back from holiday abroad are having to self-isolate, go into 14 days quarantine in their own homes. And if that's you, I want to hear from you. 0345 6060 973. The rules are much tougher than the lockdown, we remember. You can't go out, can't go to the shops, can't go for exercise outdoors. If it's out with your garden, you can't take the dog for a walk. Let me know how it is for you. Increasingly, the conversation is not just where did you go on holiday, but where are you spending quarantine and how is it? You can text 84850, tweet at LBC. Here's Shelley. Hi, Shelley. How are you getting on?
Hi Eddie, I'm good, thank you.
Where were you on holiday?
I went to Portugal.
How was it?
It was lovely.
Where did you stay? Was it a villa? Was it a hotel? What were you doing?
We went to my mum's. She's got a villa in the Algarve, so we felt quite safe to go and stay there.
Good weather,
And
good time?
lovely time, lovely weather.
But you knew quarantine was coming when you came back.
I did, because we thought the average was going to go in and then they didn't put it in. So we flew out knowing this is what we'd have to do.
How did that affect your holiday?
It was fine. I did a couple of online shops while I was on holiday, ready to have food delivered when I came back. And I wasn't worried. We'd done so many months at home over lockdown. But for me, 2 weeks
In a quarter of a mile at the roundabout, take the second exit onto the M4 slip road to Heathrow Airport, M25.
I'll keep till next week. I'm totally fine. I had a lovely holiday. And we had a great time. So just being in for a couple of weeks, catching up on, stuff around the house is fine.
Like DIY?
I wouldn't say DIY, but just, general tidying up, getting stuff ready for the kids going back to school, tidying up all the washing from home.
Exit at the roundabout onto the slip road.
Places never look so good. What about work?
In a quarter of a mile, merge onto M4.
They knew there was a strong chance that I wouldn't be able to come back, and it's so quiet at the moment, obviously due to the virus, that it's not a big deal for me not to be there for a couple of weeks.
What's the thing you're looking forward to most when this is over?
I was seeing friends, I think, and just being able to pop out and about and catch up with people.
And have you had a phone call or a text?
Continue on M4 for 9 miles.
No, not yet. They did check when we were at passport control. They did ask to see my online form, and he did take my phone, the passport guy, and he did scroll through it to make sure that all my children that were with me were listed on the form. But we haven't had anything since we've been back.
And was it worth it?
I think so. We had a lovely time. We had a really nice break and lovely weather. For me, it doesn't feel like a big thing. That's just a personal thing to me. Maybe I'm quite chilled and relaxed.
Well, I'm looking to garner as many experiences this hour as possible. Shelley, thank you. 0345 606 0973. How is your self-isolation? How is your post-holiday quarantine going? Here's Sarah now. Sarah, no, that's not your real name. Tell me about your holiday, first of all.
Well, I don't really consider it a holiday in the sense that prior to the COVID lockdown, I was commuting to Spain about once a month to see my sister who has had stomach cancer, and she's on her second wave of chemotherapy.
I'm sorry, how's she getting on?
She's doing really well, but that's because she has a great support network, of which I'm part of, and I think that's really, really important because obviously in isolation we couldn't fly until July, so yeah, we saw her through FaceTime and video, but there's nothing like being there for somebody who's ill, whose life's on the line. And for me, having quarantined, I just felt that if I tested before I went to make sure that I was negative and I was protecting her, and I looked at testing while I was out there. I was out there for about 2.5 weeks, and then I tested immediately when I came back, because I have to come back because I have to relieve the carer for my mother who has dementia and is at home. And on that basis, I guess I've broken the quarantine, but what am I supposed to do? I have 2 people in different parts of Europe who are very, very ill, and my priority is my family and supporting them. People might say that's selfish, but I've taken every precaution I feel that's possible with the testing, early testing, as does the carer here in England, and also when I was in Spain, wearing masks. Everybody wears masks in the streets there, unlike here, and even the waiters and the waitresses wear masks so they don't cough on your food before it's served to you, unlike here.
Well, in fairness, I've seen a lot of
governments are there because they've got national resources, and I really feel they should be on the front foot with the virus and not playing such a passive role. And I think that's where we should be getting our resources. So we're proactively going after this virus until it's gone, it's dead, or until we put a vaccine. But you know, the global economy is just going down the pan. I mean, shop after shop across Europe is closing down, and we're passively sitting there when the governments should be, you know, treating this as you know, really, really going out for this virus to track it down. And I believe we've got the technology to do that, but we're not using it effectively.
Listen, thanks so much for talking to us about this. That's Sarah, not her real name. With her position on self-isolating, what about you? I'm keen to hear from you if you have been abroad and you're now in quarantine, this self-isolation. What do you think of Sarah's perspective? And what about you? What's it like? What's your employer saying to you? Are you regretting going on holiday? This is the new normal now for thousands of people coming back from holiday. Who knows how long this will go on? Weeks, months, we just don't know. 0345 6060 973. Self-quarantining after holiday. The conversation continues after the news, 6:30. Here's Tim Humphrey.
Some universities say they're concerned thousands of students still won't be able to get onto their first choice courses following a change in policy on A-level results because they're already full. Yesterday, Ofqual announced grades will be based on teachers' assessments rather than calculated by a computer algorithm. Public Health England is being replaced by a new body called the National Institute for Health Protection. It will bring together existing agencies and be responsible for dealing with pandemics, infectious diseases, and the threat of biological weapons. Around 7,000 shop and management positions are going to be cut at Marks and Spencer. The retailer says it's had to make the decision after a sharp fall in store sales due to coronavirus. It's estimated 41,000 jobs have been lost on the high street since the pandemic started. And the weather, heavy showers will be slow to die out.
In 2 miles, at junction 6, take the A355 exit to Slough Central.
With a low of 12.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast. LBC. Education Secretary Gavin Williamson. Do you have confidence in Ofqual?
It is quite clear that there have been some real challenges in terms of
I'll take that as
what they've been able to do. Our founders, and what I expect from Ofqual is to ensure that they deliver the grades that youngsters need.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast. Weekday mornings from 7. LBC.
This is a quick fit ad, but is it a quick fit ad for you? Well, if you own a car with wheels and you'd like to adorn those wheels with 2 or more brand new Goodyear tyres while saving 10%, then yes, this is most definitely an ad for you. Find your nearest centre or book online at quickfit.com and drive away happy. See their website for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Businesses, this is for you. Now that we've left the EU and will soon be leaving the customs union, it's time for you to take action and plan for our new start. If you're running a business trading with the EU or you employ international staff, there's lots to do to keep your business moving. Go to gov.uk/transition for the simple, personalised tool where you can find the actions you need to take to support your business. Check the guidance, make the changes, and let's get going for the UK's new start.
It's a sunny day in Admouth, but Tom is stuck at his computer.
Oh, Tom, you should be outside having fun.
I agree, Admiral, but I need to sort out the home insurance.
It was your wife's car insurance last month. Let me help.
Thanks to Admiral, Tom can bundle his home and car insurance and get a lovely multi-cover discount. Car and home insurance all in one place.
What could be easier?
Admiral Multi-Cover. Rewardingly simple.
Need something to look forward
In a quarter of a mile, at junction 6, take the A355 exit to Slough Central.
We've recently refunded over £125 million, often from our own reserves. So if your trip is cancelled due to COVID, you're not out of pocket. Trust Trailfinders to find your next holiday. Phone or visit your local Trailfinders travel centre. If you thought gold
Exit at junction 6.
if you thought you couldn't be the owner of such a precious commodity, think again. At Gold Bank London, we live and
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the 3rd exit on 2 Tons Lane, A355.
Gold Bank London is the easy way for you to begin your gold ownership journey. Want to increase your gold portfolio? Want to sell your gold at our best price? Visit gold-bank.co.uk now.
Say hello to summer data deals at Vodafone. Get the
Samsung Galaxy S20 5G with double data. 48 gigabytes for the price of 24. For £51 per month plus £19 up front. Just one of the amazing offers in the Vodafone summer data deals. Switch to the UK's best mobile data network, online or in store. Ready? Vodafone.
Ends 3rd of September. 24-month plans. 5G subject to coverage. RPI increased credit check terms and reward verification.
Exit the roundabout on 2 Tons Lane.
Check a Trade is the UK's #1 website for finding tradespeople. Let us help you get your...
In a quarter of a mile, slight left towards Sippenham Lane.
You got a little bit carried away with. Find your local tradesperson for free today at checkatrade.com. The UK's #1. UK's #1 according to survey conducted by Deep Blue Thinking.
The Eddie Mayer Show. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850. This is LBC.
The government ministers around the UK have been telling us for some time now that if we book a holiday abroad during this time of COVID, we're doing so at our own risk. There may be trouble when we get there.
Slight left towards Sippenham Lane, then use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left onto Sippenham Lane.
Until we're actually overseas. The truth is that for more and more people now, going on holiday abroad is a risk, and for some it involves going into quarantine again when they come back. Much worse than the lockdown we all lived through. Can't go out, can't go to work, can't even take an hour's exercise or walk the dog. That's the reality for lots of people, and if that's you, I want to hear from you this hour. 0345 6060 973. We'll hear from Rupert and Louise in just a moment. I want to update you, there was some breaking news on COVID-19. This is coming from the Republic.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left onto Sippenham Lane.
With all businesses.
Continue for 1.5 miles.
New limits on outdoor gatherings and warnings to avoid public transport. This is coming from the Prime Minister, who said the new rules will be in place until at least the 13th of September. So that's what, another 4 weeks following a spike in cases over the last 3 weeks. He said that all state bodies responsible for monitoring cases must step up their efforts. So a significant tightening of coronavirus restrictions in the Republic of Ireland. Businesses told to let employees work from home, limits on outdoor gatherings, warnings to avoid public transport. A step back in the Republic. We'll wait to see what happens elsewhere. Now, as promised, let's hear from Rupert in Harrow. You're in isolation, are you, Rupert? Where did you go on holiday?
So I was in Spain for 2 weeks. I got back last Saturday. So I'm just on my second week now. I finished on this Saturday.
How are you coping?
I'm actually doing fine. I'm not here. I live with my family. There's lots of people around, so I've been fine. But for me, the issue is just there are a few contradictions in the whole thing, which I think if we had a normal, adequate track and trace system, it wouldn't be an issue. So for example, the idea that, my family, they don't have to self-isolate, but I could, easily just infect them, couldn't I? And, it just doesn't make sense. If I've got it, for example, what's to stop me giving it to them, and then, if we have a normal track and trace system in place, I think that would solve a lot of issues, but clearly we don't.
And are your family able to steer clear of you? It's hard in a house.
It's difficult. I mean, if I did have it, I'd probably already have given it by now. But yeah, when I came back from Spain, just walked straight through. I was at Luton Airport. They didn't even check my phone to see how coming on my phone. So.
But had you filled it in, you put in all your details?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel I took a bit of a soft touch in Spain, and rightly so. They had to go and use it quite a few times for having just beneath my nose. But no, I just a couple of things where it just doesn't add up for me, and it's just so. For me, I've been fine, but it's just so time consuming for a lot of other people who have to work at home.
And what about work? What do you do, Rupert?
So I'm a trainee solicitor, so I'm fortunate I can work remotely, but others aren't going to be in as unfortunate positions to work from home.
And is your employer quite sympathetic
position where others might not be in that position.
Rupert, thanks very much. Good luck with the rest of quarantine. Here's Louise. I know that's not your real name, Louise, but fire away. Where were you?
Hi Eddie, nice to talk to you. So basically where I live, a football match was played on Saturday, and after that football match, my understanding is a group of players and spectators went to a local pub. Yesterday morning, my partner, he's self-employed, runs his own small business, employs 3 or 4 people. One of the lads that works for him had a text message come through from NHS Track and Trace saying that he'd been in contact with somebody who had tested positive for COVID and that he needed to get a test straight away. We made the decision, my partner and I, because he'd been in contact with this employee, to ourselves for the last 2 days, self-isolate. Just for safety, for other people's sakes. The nature of my partner's work meant that he'd been in and out of people's houses. We felt that it was the right thing to do, given what we knew, and that somebody that he works closely with was being asked to be tested. Our understanding is since then that the gentleman in question that plays for the football team had come back from Spain and not quarantined, and had gone, upon his return to play this football match.
So you self-isolate. You haven't had the joy of going abroad and having a holiday, but you're stuck anyway.
In 300 yards, turn left onto Buckingham Avenue.
We knew that the chap that my partner employs was clear, because we felt it was the right thing to do. One of the families he has been working for, the daughter's pregnant and all these things, and you just don't want to put anybody at risk. So we felt, okay, we haven't been contacted directly. The chap that works for him, very closely,